You're live, but I'm feeling dead. And friends, this is the Aaron Zero show. With today's noise, we're giving you all the noise that you need. And what can we say? The Delhi weather is heating up. Looks like summer is on the horizon, but we want still winter. But it's the end of February and summer is on its way. Days are much brighter, but it's all good. That's what I can say. So, what do we have in the world news? Well, in the world news, the AI is the main story just now. And Anthropic, there's a company there in USA, which says that the Chinese companies DeepSeek, Minimax, Moonshot have stolen data from it by putting 25 million customers or something that are interacting with its Claude chatbot, and therefore they're stealing information which they can use to train their own AI bot uh, company versions. And it's called distillation, and they're actually supposed to have permission to do that, and they are doing it illegally, according to Anthropic. And the of course the CEO of Anthropic, Mr. Diario, was here in India for the AI summit. And they also say that the Chinese could use that information to develop some kind of bioweapon or surveillance. And so it's all pretty bad. And the same is agreed to by another AI company called OpenAI. And the CEO of that is Sam Altman, who's also here in India for the AI summit. And he also says that the Chinese companies are stealing data and then using it, for free to power up their own systems, and etc. At the same time, what is very funny is that the OpenAI is being has been sued by some of the authors and publishers in USA for illegally taking their copyrighted works, and they had to pay a billion and a half dollar fine to them. So that is the news in the AI. And Anthropic also says that there is some COBOL language which is going to disrupt everything. And so it has caused a lot of jitters on Wall Street, with a lot of tech stocks losing their value. And that translated here in the Indian stock market too. Indian stock companies like HCL, Tata, and Wipro, they also lost value, and the Sensex dropped by about 1,069 points. And so, welcome to the AI world, where everything is supposed to be wonderful. Of course, Mr. Sam Altman, in a talk here in Delhi to the IIT students, apparently has said that you should not listen to older people. You should listen only to yourself, and you will make the right decisions by yourself, and incredibly, you will have some epiphanetic movement and some magical moment, and you will suddenly become a genius. That's not the way how it works. Usually, people have to always learn from someone who's had more experience in the field, whether it be AI or whatever. Uh, I've never heard of that kind of advice where somebody says that don't listen to anybody's advice, especially to an older person who would definitely be more experienced than a younger version. And he has already had the experiences, so he could tell you what to do or what to watch out for, even in the AI field, so to speak. Anyway, so much for AI. According to ex-Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson, uh, the European nations should put troops on the ground in Ukraine right now as peacekeepers while the Russian bombs are flowing, and that Europe is not acting strong enough against Russia, and they're only doing 10% of what they can do. At the same time, the Russians have accused UK and France of secretly wanting to give Ukraine nuclear weapons. The story is out on that. We don't know. It's a question of he said and she said. So we don't know who is telling the truth on that. But that is one of the stories that is in the news. Anyway, any troops on the ground in Ukraine is next to impossible when there is no peace and when the bombs are flowing freely. Those non-combatants, European troops, they would be severely injured, to say the least, or they would be having to hide in some bunkers to avoid being shot at or bombed out or whatever. It's not a peaceful scenario at all in Ukraine, because the bottom line is Mr. Putin doesn't want peace. He wants to grab all of Ukraine. And even as has been pointed out, that if Donbass is handed to him, which is the eastern part of Ukraine, there's no guarantee that he'll stop the war. He might stop it for maybe 6 months, a year, and then continue again, make a surprise attack. Because when a leader has already said that he wants to take all of Ukraine, just like another leader had said that he wants to take all of Greenland. So it becomes very difficult to negotiate with such people because they're non negotiable, so to speak. And talking about Iran, according to President Trump, the war will be done very quickly and very easily. And his own chief of staff, General Dean Kane, says not so fast. Actually, there could be a lot of US casualties in such a war, whether it be short term or medium term, and also that American stockpiles of weapons would be affected. That is according to the chief of staff of the American military. But you never know what Mr. Trump decides anyway. As per the latest reports, he feels that if the Iranians don't come up with a deal, because he's a deal maker basically, and they don't agree to the nuclear stoppage, then maybe the bombs will start flowing. Who knows? So it's just a matter of time what to say. And in the Booker Prize, there's an Indian lady who's up for the translation part of it. She's translated a Portuguese novel, Earth Beneath Us, by Ana Paula from Portugal, and it's on the long list of the Booker Prize of Literature. So that's quite a feather in the Indian cap, because I believe the Booker Prize for Literature last year was won by a Kannada novel by, I think her name is Bano Mushtaq, and it was translated by Deep Bashist. So Booker Prize also, of course, is a very famous literary prize, and it puts you in the eye of the world, so to speak. And what else we have? So the Supreme Court has said that voting should be mandatory for everybody. And in other countries of the world, there is also possibly a fine if you don't vote, because the Supreme Court feels that only a small percentage of people vote in the elections, especially in a large populated country like India. So they feel they should make voting compulsory so that a more greater percentage of people vote in the elections, and you get a better result, a more representative result, so to speak, of the electoral rolls. And what else do we have to say? So, there is going to be a digitization of the electricity supply in the city of New Delhi. They're going to have some digital layouts that will easily tell the engineers on hand where a problem occurs, and so they could either fix it digitally or then send out field staff. So it's being tried out in a part of Delhi known as Janakpuri. So we'll see how that works out. And of course, superstar actor Anil Kapoor is in the news because his new movie Subidar, apparently the trailer has received rave reviews for his fantastic acting, and it's going to be out on an OTT platform sometime in March. So that is a feather in the cap for Mr. Anil Kapoor, longtime actor who's been on the scene for about 30, 40 years, and more power to him. And so we call it a shot. Subscribe. Thank you for watching and listening. This is the Aaron Zero Show. Subscribe by the billion.